Matt Harvey has been suspended for 3 days without pay for violation of club rules and has been sent home. He will not start today. Adam Wilk has been selected for the Las Vegas roster and will start the game.
So that was Sandy Alderson, the head for the New York Mets. Another bombshell in the soap opera that is your New York Metropolitans. I'm not pointing any fingers. If anything, I'm sending over some sympathy.
Yeah.
Prior to the game against the Marlins, which they would end up getting smoked 7-0,
Yep.
Matt Harvey, who was the projected starter, is put on, as we heard from Alderson, a 3-day suspension without pay. He's now appealing it. What were your first reactions when you heard this?
When you hear this and then you hear it's because he had a migraine and there was a miscommunication with the team, I don't buy that for a second.
Playing golf.
Yeah,
Played golf, missed work on Saturday, didn't show up, very little notification.
But he said he had a migraine.
From golf or a
Something's not exactly adding up. Then you hear that he's going to file a grievance with the team for this being sent home. And
through his agent, super agent, Scott Boras.
Here's the thing. When Sandy Alderson has to make the distinction that not only was he fined and suspended 3 games without pay, but we sent him home. We don't want you here physically in the building at Citi Field. Go home. Leave your place of employment. That sends a stronger statement to me than the 3 games without pay.
To the degree where we're better off without you.
We don't want you here.
We need your toxic energy away for a bit.
That's not a guy who had a migraine and a miscommunication. That sounds like something much deeper that we might not know the true depths of what has happened here with Matt Harvey and the organization. So clearly a command decision was made to not only are we sending you home, you are supposed to, as you said, pitch today. You were supposed to work today. And every day, by the way, you have side sessions you're supposed to do on days you don't start. But on your pitching day, where we need you, and by the way, they had just gotten hot, the Metropolitans, the offense was clicking, and all of a sudden, it looked like maybe things were going to get righted. They had a 7-1 deficit the other day, and Cinco de Mayo come back and win 8-7. Things are looking better. And then you do this. This is insubordination to your teammates. Because aside from the fact that we had to send you home, then we had to put Adam Wilk in a situation he wasn't prepared to deal with, clearly. He gets bombed, as you may expect. Giancarlo Stanton has a field day. Marlins win big. And now if you're a teammate of one Matt Harvey, you're sitting there going, this guy just left us high and dry when we needed him. And we desperately need him. Metropolitans need Matt Harvey to be who they thought they were getting 2-3 years ago. Now, what you do with Matt Harvey going forward, if you're Sandy Alderson and Terry Collins, I don't know.
He's on their books through the end of the 2018 season.
He feels untradeable because if you trade him now, what are you going to get value-wise?
Shouldn't you just wait until he peaks, whatever his relative peak now is?
What's
the
that gonna
Dark
be?
Knight is no longer. He's like a
His
gray
ERA
knight.
is north of 5.
Right, he's had a tough year. He's not the same guy who had arguably one of the best starts to a career in terms of sabermetrics we've ever seen for a starting pitcher.
2 years ago, he was in the doghouse. He got out of the doghouse by pitching in the World Series and pitching
And when
well.
you say the doghouse, you remember they had a noon meeting.
Oh, yeah.
After the day off, he goes and gets wasted at a bar and oversleeps, can't make the noon meeting. This is leading into the 2015 postseason.
He has had numerous chances with this
And that's, I
organization.
think, the key here, Dave. I don't know. I think this was the straw that broke the camel's back. The suspension wasn't directly correlated to him deciding after golf, I have a headache, I'm not going to notify him, I'm not going to show up to the park on Saturday. I think it was this myriad of poor decisions, insubordination.
As bad as this looks for Metropolitan fans looking at Matt Harvey, as bad as this looks with the front office and Sandy Alderson having to say that today to the media, as bad as it looks for Terry Collins and whatever relationship he still has with Matt Harvey, it's worse for the players in that locker room that have to look at Matt Harvey and go, dude, you let us down.
Jay Bruce, Curtis Granderson declined. They didn't really decline. They just said, we don't know any more information. Terry Collins, as you heard with Alderson, we're going to keep all of this in-house. It's probably the best thing they can do. As for Harvey, we could look 2 years from now and say he was actually the guy that stood to lose the most. We thought as early as spring training this year that it's inevitable when he reached his free agency with super agent Scott Boras, he's going to make a 9-digit deal.
Somebody will probably give him that because when you have the hopes and the expectations of a guy like Matt Harvey, when you come into the majors, that doesn't really go away. That Strasburg-Harvey feel that these are going to be the two right-handers of the National League for the next decade that dominate the league. Somebody still believes they can tap into it. Maybe they can. I don't think this is going to work in New York. I do agree with you. I think this is the demarcation line that has been drawn in the sand.
But you can't trade him now.
No, you can't.
You have
no value.
You basically need to throw him out there, show his talent, and when the talent peaks, start making phone calls.
And to that end, the Mets knew today when they did what they did today, this is going to hurt whatever trade value they have. And they still said, go home.
Yeah, not worth it. And I'm curious. You know they still have stout talent at the starting pitching position, which it seems as if no other franchise has it. And they've never had a full rotation.
Can't get it
together. The injuries right now, it's a calamity right now within Citi Field. Where do we go at the end of this year? I know a lot can happen in 4 months, but as we get 12 months from now, is Terry Collins there? Is Sandy Alderson there?
Probably not.
And is Matt Harvey there?
It's blowing up in the Big Apple.
Great stuff from a Mets fan,
keeping
it real.
Mr. Met, I feel for you.
More 120 Sports back in
Where's Mrs. Met, by the way, throughout all of this?
Maybe they're on something.